Hello, loyal and honorable profession listeners, and welcome to a special DNC Mini-sode. I'm Rachel, the producer of the podcast. The AHP team is on the ground this week in Chicago for the Democratic National Convention, where host Debbie Cox Bultan and I have been able to catch up with NewDEAL leaders from across the country. Following a roundtable discussion on climate policy hosted by the New Deal, we caught up with two exceptional mayors to hear about their experiences so far at the DNC. Today, you'll get to hear from Shelby County, Tennessee Mayor Lee Harris and New Bedford, Massachusetts Mayor Jon Mitchell as they share their favorite parts from the opening night of the convention and what they look forward to in the coming days. Enjoy, and be sure to check back tomorrow for another DNC Mini-sode.
Lee Harris, so fun to see you here in Chicago.
Fantastic to be here.
What are you most looking forward to this week?
Well, obviously, I'm looking forward to the vice president giving her nomination speech. So I think that's going to be so important. I think we're all really, really energized right now. I actually wasn't planning to come to Chicago. Kind of made a last-minute decision as the momentum started to build, as Kamala Harris secured the nomination in effect. And so just a lot of excitement in Memphis and Shelby County. And so our delegation is really excited. The Tennessee delegation was the first delegation to support and endorse the vice president for the nomination. And so, having a great time. Everybody's walking around Chicago wearing lanyards and being very social.
Yes.
And you can just feel
the
that
energy, right?
You can absolutely feel the energy. So it's going great.
Yeah. And anybody you're excited besides the vice president, of course, to hear from this week?
Well, Barack Obama, obviously. Everybody's excited to hear from Barack Obama. Joe Biden knocked it out of the park last night, and so the reviews are fantastic. Hillary Clinton, I actually bumped into Hillary Clinton in the hotel yesterday.
Amazing.
You can't bump into Hillary Clinton, but
you bumped her security out and bumped into her.
But before she went on yesterday, she gave a reunion speech for her alums, and so we got a chance to go to that reception. And so both Hillary and Bill were there, and it was just fantastic. And Bill Clinton gave about a 10-minute speech, and he stayed at that event for over an hour and a half to talk to anyone who had talked to him.
Oh my God!
It was the most incredible performance I've ever seen.
That alone was worth coming to.
He had more energy and capacity to engage with people than any politician I've ever seen. It was really incredible to watch.
That's awesome. Well, I'm so happy to see you and have a fantastic week. Mayor Jon Mitchell, so good to see you.
It's so good to see you,
here
Debbie.
In Chicago.
Yeah, this is great.
It's so fun. So you were on the floor last night.
I was.
Favorite moment?
I have to say, so I think Hillary's speech was pretty remarkable, right? So it's sort of. I was in Philadelphia 8 years ago. I can't believe it's been 8 years, and she gave her acceptance speech. And of course, in 2020 there wasn't a convention. So this was, in some ways, the next chapter to the previous speech, which itself was fabulous. But I think it was remarkable how warmly she was received. There's tremendous energy in the room, and I think she, on substance, hit all the nails on the heads. She made a strong argument for the ticket. I think she acknowledged the great work that the Biden administration has done over the last 4 years. And most of all, she energized the place, and so gets an A overall. But that wasn't the only great speech last night. I think overall, what struck me is just the level of energy in the place.
Yeah, I agree.
I've been to a couple of other conventions, and this was really at a higher level of intensity in terms of just the optimism, but also just the yearning to go out and work for the result that we all want to see.
Yeah. The other thing about Hillary that was so special was just this knowing how hard she worked to break those glass ceiling and to move this forward for a woman, and in her reference back to history of Shirley Chisholm and Jeremy Ferraro.
All that
was really smooth. I thought that was super moving.
No, it made sense. It's we can pick one of many metaphors, but she really laid out how the way has been paved over the many years, and the last big step, of course, was hers. And so, we're at a point now in our history where we're this far away from having America's first woman president, and nobody's. What's remarkable about it is that it's unremarkable in itself, right?
That's right. That's right.
People are not saying, "Well, do we?" You're not hearing anything, even from the Republican side, like, are we ready for a woman? You don't hear any of that at all, which is great. I mean, that's a mark of real progress, it seems to me.
You hear
as
some
a
wacky
country.
things about women in the Republican Party. We won't focus on that
There's
today.
there's always the fringe, right? But them aside, it's not like her gender is not a focus.
No,
of the discussion.
and how much she's done as vice president, and her record, and her vision, and I mean that's really what's front and center as it should be.
It is, and that's the way it should be in our democracy. Now, obviously, this year has been an unusual year, and so here we are, whatever it is, 75 days or so out from the election, and it's a sprint. Just all the sprinting in the Olympics. This is kind of like, I don't know, maybe it's 100 meter, maybe it's a 200 meter, it's a sprint. And so when we wake up in November, it's going to be done. And so it's incumbent upon everybody to put in the effort now and clear the decks and get it done.
Yeah. Anything you're excited about for the rest of the week? What are you most looking forward to?
Well, so the speeches tonight, I think, will be something to look forward to. Everybody loves to hear President Obama, right? It's always for me, a master class in public speaking when he speaks, because he's just so he's so skillful and not only his delivery but in substance. He's such a great writer, but he's also and so in the moment and so connected emotionally with his audience that I always sort of marvel at his skills. But there are many others who are going to be part of the batting order tonight that are worth watching.
It's an embarrassment of riches, really. We've got some really great speakers.
We've got some great speakers. I think last night was curated very well. There was sort of the personal elements that were delivered by the president's family, President Biden's family, but also a whole lot of, and this is the former federal prosecutor me who appreciates this, the case being made for the current ticket, Harris Walz ticket. So I think that has to continue to be made. The more we can speak substantively about what we need as a nation to move forward and why they are the ones to do it is I think absolutely necessary. It's what we should be talking about.
Absolutely. Good to see you.
Good to see you, Debbie. Yes, thank you for having me.
Thanks for tuning in to this special mini-sode. To hear the latest on what we're doing on the ground at the DNC this week, follow @NewDEAL Leaders on Instagram, TikTok, and X. We'll see you next time on An Honorable Profession.